How's it going, neighbors? This is Ed here with eTrailer.com, and today we're going to take a look at the Hollywood Rack's Crosstrack 2-bike carrier on the back of our 2024 Dodge Durango. Now, the first thing you may notice about the bike carrier is how it's making contact with the bike. This is a wheel-mounted carrier, so this is going to work for your bikes that have carbon fiber frames, or you just have an unconventional frame like a step-through, or just a nice paint job that you don't want any contact to the frame. This is going to keep your bike secured by using these adjustable arms on the front and the rear. But more specifically, we're going to take a look at how it fits on the back of your Durango. So let's take a closer look. And taking a look from the rear, you can see if you were loaded up with two bikes, you would block out your backup camera, your tail lights, and your license plate with, the exception of seeing through the spokes and the holes in the frame. So it's something that you definitely want to be aware of when you're needing that backup or when you're backing into things. It will give you the flexibility of opening up your cargo area. However, you're not going to get that full range of motion for your hatch. So I'm going to grab my handle here and tilt her forward. You can see that's an okay amount of space for your tilt. And if you had a road bike that had more narrow handlebars, you'd be able to have a little bit more clearance. But as you can see, you're going to make contact with your, with your hatch right here. And depending on your bikes or your vehicle, if you're okay with that contact, that's for you to judge, but that is what happens. But if you just open it up slightly, you have enough clearance to get on the inside of your cargo area to retrieve something. So that's not a whole file, so just something to keep in mind. So we're gonna lift this guy back up, and we're gonna take a closer look at our bike carrier by removing our bike. One of the cool things about these types of arms, they're going to work as another set of hands on the other side of your bike. You're going to press the red latch, and you're going to have to keep it depressed to lay down your arm, and you can see that the front wheel is still being held. So we're going to just press here, and that's going to release the tension just enough for us to be able to remove our bike. If you take a look on the ends of our carrier, you can see these red connection points, and this is where you're going to be able to use the Hollywood Rack's ramp. This is going to let you get those heavier bikes loaded and unloaded a lot easier versus having to hoist them upright. So now we're going to take a closer look at our arm. These guys are adjustable. You can go between 29 inches and 20 inches with the adapter to get to that smaller size. And you have an adjustable chalk that's gonna allow you to move farther or closer to the inside, depending on your wheel diameter. So at the closest point, from our bumper to the carrier, you're right at 7.5 inches. Overall, from the bumper to the farthest point out, you're right at 38.5. And the lowest point, which is actually this point right here on our handle, you're 26 inches from the ground. Now, your capacity per bike, per tray is 66 pounds. So if you add that additional weight to the back of your vehicle, I wouldn't be overly surprised if that height drops down. You just want to be cautious when you're going up steep inclines and driveways. So we're going to fold this guy up in our stowaway position. And as you can see, you have plenty of clearance. I can get my entire arm here without making any contact with the back of the vehicle. And now our closest point is right at 6 inches away from the bumper. And then overall, from the end of our anti-rattle bolt, we're right at 15. And you can see that this is very compact, but it will obstruct some things on the back of your vehicle. So now you're blocking out your license plate entirely. Your backup camera is going to pick up your bike carrier, but your tail lights and your sensors should be pretty clear. Now with backup sensors, they only notice something behind your vehicle. They don't know what it is. So it may set those off when you have your bikes loaded or the carrier on the inside. But as far as your fit, it fits pretty well. So we're going to take a look here at our 2-inch shank. And one of the cool features with this, Hollywood Racks actually has a tool-free anti-rattle device right here. I'm going to loosen it up and you can kind of see the movement on the shank within the receiver. When you hand tighten this down, it actually pulls on your receiver pin. and it gives you a little bit more resistance to stabilize your carrier as you're going down the road. Now, nothing stops anything from vibrating entirely, but this is going to give you a nice solid base for your carrier, and you have a welded on alignment plate. So this is going to stop to align the holes for your pin here right where you need it to go to make it easier for setup. And another cool feature is the fact that your lock points towards you instead of being on the end of your pin. So that makes it easier to access and get cleared out so you can lock up and secure your keys and stuff and things. Your pin is going to have a lock on the end, which is kind of cool because the lock core actually points at you instead of being on the end. And if you have the model here where you have the 7-way and the 4-way plug-ins for your trailers, you know, this guy would be almost impossible to get to a key unless you put it on the other side. Another cool thing, if you have the 4-pole, you can add on the LED light bar from Hollywood Racks to give you an extra measure of visibility as you're going down the road. So again, this is Ed with eTrailer.com, taking a look at the Hollywood Racks Crosstrack 2-bike carrier on our 2024 Dodge Durango. Have a great day.